but there was an EMT and an empty ambulance just a couple cars behind me. That's why I'm here today. There's no way I would have survived this, Rob, if he wasn't there, because he immediately started working on me. I had a because the roof caved in my head, and it pushed my head behind the back of my seat, and I got a laceration from like here down to here. Sometimes I don't know if you can see the scar, but that was bleeding so bad, and I got partially scalped up here.
I was broken, now I'm whole. Wrote new chapters for my soul. Not the end, just re-inspired. This is me, my life rewired.
Well, it's a great day to have a great day. Today's guest is someone whose story is a powerful example of resilience, purpose, and turning adversity into impact. Evan Folan is a traumatic brain injury survivor, advocate, entrepreneur, and founder of Toro and Tides, a mission driven brand dedicated to raising awareness and supporting people living with a traumatic brain injury. After surviving a devastating accident that resulted in a severe traumatic brain injury, Evan's life changed in an instant. But instead of letting the moment define him, he chose to turn his experience into a platform for advocacy, education, and hope for others navigating life after a brain injury. Evan is also the host of his very own podcast where he shares powerful conversations, personal insights, and stories from the brain injury community to help bring awareness to the challenges and victories that come along with recovery. Through his work, Evan continues to inspire others by proving that even after life's toughest setbacks, it's possible to rebuild, rediscover purpose, and make a meaningful difference. Evan, we're very honored to have you on the podcast today. How are you doing?
Rob, so good to be here. Thanks for having me. Man, what a beautifully well written introduction. You made me sound better than I am. I can't thank you enough for that. Very kind words.
Well, I applaud anyone that's doing the work that you're doing. That's very near and dear to my heart. So, yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I didn't know a whole lot about your story. The backstory that I read that you had, correct me if I'm wrong, you were hit by a semi?
No, no, sir. A semi truck heading in the opposite direction on the freeway lost one of its rear wheels.
Oh,
It fell off the axle, so it ran down the freeway, jumped the median, and that wheel came through my windshield.
oh wow. Gosh. And then that resulted in your traumatic brain injury, which it sounds from me from just our talks, you share a lot of the same similarities that I do. The migraine headaches, the
Hmm.
memory issues, things like that.
Yeah, I
So,
think that's what the beautiful thing about brain injuries, if we can call them beautiful, is all of them are different, but it's neat to find other individuals that suffer from brain injuries where you
mhm,
have overlapping symptoms.
right.
And yeah, it was really funny actually planning this to come on your show. You saw firsthand how bad mine is, where I kept messing up the times. I thought it was you were coming on my show. I didn't know I was coming on your show. You're so patient. You were so kind. And knowing that you live with it, I think that's what made you more sympathetic and understanding. Whereas
Oh,
other people would have
absolutely.
been like, "Oh, this guy just doesn't even care about being on the show. I'm not going to have him." But it was just bad memory.
Yeah. One thing that I will have to say that the brain injury taught me was empathy. I was not a very empathetic person prior to my brain injury.
Interesting. When did you notice that shift?
I guess maybe 6 months, maybe a year in, because I would sit down and I'd watch TV with my wife, and then a commercial would come on, Kleenex commercial could come on, and I'm bawling, and I'm like, where did this come from? I'm not a crier. You'll see someone getting on their child in a restaurant, and the old Rob is like, get them, and then the new Rob's like, yeah, but they're being a kid. That's what kids do. So, yeah,
Yeah. Look at
it
this
just
new version of Rob.
right.
A softie. I love it. I've always been a softie, like one that, cries here and there, in
Mhm.
tune with their emotions. And yeah, that's one thing that I can say I did not lose, according to my family, is my personality. Everything pretty much stayed the same for me as what they said. And I feel it too. I don't really feel a big difference. I did notice within the first year, I would have like laughing attacks where I'd be in probably the most unfunniest situations. And for some reason, my brain would think it was funny and I'd start laughing. Very uncomfortable, but. Made for, I guess, some good laughs for my family.
Wow, I'm going to show my age real quick here, but that just reminded me of an old Mary Tyler Moore episode. I know that's like way before your time. It's almost before mine. But there was an episode where um, Mary's friend, who was a clown, passed away, and she could not get over the fact that everyone else was cutting jokes and laughing about it. And she was like, guys, this is a serious matter. And then during the funeral, all of a sudden, they said something that just struck a chord with Mary, and she just busted out laughing at the most inappropriate time, and everyone's just giving her these awful looks.
Very relatable. Very relatable.
So I'll insert the B-roll here if I can find it.
Yes, please. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I wonder which ones are the other clowns. You'll know soon. They're all gonna jump out of a little hearse.
This is a funeral. A man has died. We came here to show respect, not to laugh.
I'm sorry, Mary. All right, no more jokes.
Therefore ask not for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. Chuckles the Clown brought pleasure to millions. The characters he created will be remembered by children and adults alike. Peter Peanut, Mr. Fee-Fi-Fo, Billy Banana, and my particular favorite, Aunt Yoo-Hoo. And not just... There was always some deeper meaning to whatever Chuckles did. You remember how, when his arch-rival, Senor Kaboom, hit him with a giant cucumber and knocked him down? Mr. Fee-Fi-Fo would always pick himself up, dust himself off, and say, I hurt my poo-poo.
Yeah. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced early on in your recovery?
Physical therapy was really tough for me. In the accident, I broke my neck in 2 places. I also broke my hand. That was tough. I mean, we're talking outside of cognition, right? I would say, and just I still carry it with me today, is the mental fatigue. That was at an all-time high right after the accident. And now I'm working at, like 20-30% of what I used to. Pace-wise, I get tired so much faster. But I think if we're not looking in terms of going to, rehab facilities and stuff like that, I would say one of the toughest things was losing friends and family that ultimately stopped reaching out, stopped engaging in conversation. It was tough, and that still is tough today. And I know so many other people in the brain injury community that experience this, where it's frustrating. Sure, something tragic has happened to us, but we still do need friends. We still need that family support. And when they leave and they abandon us, it makes it so much more difficult.
Yeah, and for me, I guess the hard part was that, but also the fact that there was so many people that you thought would understand and be by your side, and they just discount your symptoms, like, oh, I get a headache too. Or, oh yeah, I forget where I put my keys. Not the same. Totally not the same.
And I've been met with that so many times, and it is extremely frustrating. And then sometimes I'll take a step back and be like, well, is this like them trying to empathize with me and try to normalize what I'm going through? I think you just may have said that word, but to some extent, it almost feels like they're diminishing the symptoms. I literally think I'm echoing what you just said, but it is frustrating. Because they're not the same. And I think looking at you through this video call, okay, yeah, Rob, you look perfectly fine. Like I see you at a grocery store or I see you at a restaurant, I'm not going to bat an eye or think anything. But it's those, and people do it with me too. They don't take time to truly understand what we're going through, because on the outside, we really don't show symptoms of a brain injury.
Right. And I think too, we don't they don't see us on our bad days. You know, I mean, I'm sure you're the same way I am. If you're having a very bad day where the symptoms are just the words aren't coming out and some of the words aren't even words, you don't sit in front of a camera and record a podcast. You don't go
No,
in
you
public.
reschedule.
People don't see you. So it's hard for them to make that connection that, hey, that person's not a whole person anymore.
Yeah, they only see us when we're on, but on doesn't look like what on used to look like back in the day before the accident.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough, and even just I feel like life now and the social experiences that I choose to go to, I'm treading water when I'm there because I'm pushing my brain, and oftentimes I don't listen to my brain where it's screaming at me to stop. Like, hey man, you went to a baseball game, you were here for 4 innings, be happy with that. Don't stick around for, the other five. And I'm very stubborn, Rob. I'm a very stubborn guy, and I haven't. It's been 6 years since my accident, and I still struggle to listen to the symptoms and when my brain's telling me to pump the brakes. But yeah, I think that also adds to the confusion for my friends when I do decide not to show up to some things where they're like, well, that doesn't make sense. You were just out with us, at the baseball game last week. Why can't you come to another one?
Right. And they don't realize you're still recovering.
Oh, it's the freaking the brain injury hangover is
Yeah,
every day.
that's a great terminology. I've never really heard of it said that way, but that's a great analogy. Yeah.
Oh man, where your head's pounding in the morning.
Uh-huh.
Like you said, word finding gets difficult for me, especially when I'm really, really tired, when I've pushed it too much. The memory, that's the same thing. And I'd love to hear your take on this, Rob. It's when we wake up, right, our battery. I mean, everybody's tired when they wake up. We can't really, but we're waking up with we're going to bed with a half a battery of the typical person, right? Like we're not working at the same capacity as them. But with our symptoms, since they overlap, the head pain that is persistent, it never goes away. When that elevates throughout the day because of us exerting ourselves through certain tasks, do you notice the memory, like pain increases, memory decreases, like it's reverse, bull and
Absolutely,
bear
yeah.
market, like they cannot be one and the same. It's if I work too hard, the head pain gets so bad, and then the memory, see ya never. Like it's not a thing.
Yeah. And I know better to keep pushing, but I keep pushing.
Yeah, that should be on a T-shirt.
Hey, that's a novel idea.
Uh-oh.
We just
Oh
got the
my
wheels
gosh.
turned. But it's so true because you reason with yourself like, okay, I can do just 5 more minutes, and then you look down and it's 8 more minutes, like, 3 more minutes, and then before you know it, you've already put in 2 more hours, and you're going, what was I thinking?
Hey, okay, speaking of time, I do want to ask you this because it is the most frustrating thing for me. Has the concept of time changed for you at all since your accident, since your brain injury?
Yeah, it has. It
And
has.
how?
I feel like sometimes I just ate, and it could be 8 hours ago. I'm like, what? Or here's the other flip side of that. I'm starving. Like, I haven't had breakfast yet. I asked my wife, what do you want for breakfast? And she goes, you just cooked breakfast a half hour ago.
Yeah.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. I have to rely on my girlfriend to tell me, we'll have to, hey, what do we have for lunch today? Like literally what you said, why am I so hungry?
Uh-huh.
But for me, the biggest thing that I've noticed in terms of time is I can't tell you how long we've been talking right now, but when it comes to other events, let's say hypothetically, we're in a car for 5 minutes on the road. For me, it feels like 30. Like time feels so much longer for me. It's
Yeah.
insane.
If it's something that's very taxing on me, absolutely. There's mornings I'm working and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how long have I been here? I look down at the clock and it's like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
that's it?
all.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, same thing. Like when I take my dog out to go to the bathroom in the morning, I'll have my watch on. It's like, damn, he's been out here for like an hour. What are we doing? Let's go to the bathroom. It's been like 3 minutes.
Yeah. I totally get lost in that as well. I sympathize with you on that one as well. do certain noises like pierce you like icicles?
You know, I would say there's not a specific sound that does, but I'm very, very sensitive to sound and to lights. As a result of the accident, because the tire hit me in the head, I'm partially deaf in my left ear now, and that also contributes to the headaches. Where it's when I don't wear my hearing aids, I'm filtering more sound here and less here, and it kind of like when it echoes in a room, but extremely sensitive to sound. I usually wear, if I go to some sporting event, I'll have to wear earplugs. What about you? It sounds you gave a very descriptive detail. What are those sounds for you?
Anything that's high pitched. Most people don't pick up on them.
Interesting.
We have a walking trail literally right behind our house, and there's a certain point where I can't walk past it any further, and I always have to put my earplugs in to go past that area. And my wife's like, "I don't get it. Why are we? What are you hearing?" So one day when we were walking that trail, I made her stop. I said, "Just tune everything out and listen." And after a couple minutes, she goes, "I think I hear what you're saying." She goes, "You can hear that?" I'm like, yeah, it's like a piercing drum. It was like kind of a whistle from, oh gosh, words, like an air conditioning unit on a building or something.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
real far off in the distance, but just at that certain point on the track, I could hear it,
Interesting.
and it was just
Yeah.
like take an icicle, stick them in my head.
Yeah, that's the worst. Yeah, it's so crazy too, right? I mean, before your brain injury, none of that stuff ever mattered or was ever really like in the front of our minds, right? And now I think we walk through life on these eggshells where it's, for example, on the trail, hold on a sec, honey, like I got to put in my earplugs for the next 5 minutes,
Yeah.
or however. And it's the typical person without the brain injury doesn't have to worry about that stuff. They're living pretty, Rob. Why are we suffering?
You go out to a restaurant and you'll hear people clanging like a spoon
That.
of glass. That goes through me.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
I never
That's a
really
rough one.
noticed it before the brain injury either. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think that's a good reminder for your listeners. I mean, for anybody that listens to this, is brain injuries can happen anywhere, anytime, in any situation. I mean,
Right.
brain injuries do not discriminate. Anybody can get them, and it's
Exactly.
wild. Like
I mean,
you
you're
simply
just driving down the road.
Yeah. What
You
the
know?
heck? I mean, again, timing on that too, right? Like, why was I placed there? What if I had gone to? So a little backstory for mine is, I had closed my biggest deal that day, maybe 10 minutes before the accident.
Oh wow.
I had the paper signed. I was taking it to my next meeting. I arrived to that appointment early to close that deal. So if I didn't, right, or if I had asked one more question, I would have been maybe 5 seconds ahead of the tire, 5 seconds behind the tire. And then you start thinking about that. Well, holy cow, if I was 5 seconds behind it, maybe it would have been worse.
Right.
But there was an EMT and an empty ambulance just a couple cars behind me. That's why I'm here today. There's no way I would have survived this, Rob, if he wasn't there, because he immediately started working on me. Because the roof caved in my head, and it pushed my head behind the back of my seat, and I got a laceration from like here down to here. Sometimes I don't know if you can see the scar, but that was bleeding so bad, and I got partially scalped up here.
Oh,
And
wow.
he said when he got into the vehicle with me, I was convulsing because I had lost so much blood. He said it looked like somebody had taken a 2-liter, like those 2-liter bottles of Coke that you get when you order pizza. He said like a 2-liter bottle of your blood and thrown it all over the cab. And I was just bleeding profusely. And as he was packing me, my brain was going haywire, so I was seizing, and I hit the accelerator with him in the car with me. And my car jolted forward. He jumped out. I hit another car, and then the car came back across the freeway and hit the median. So there was like multiple points of impact, but also LA's crazy in general when it comes to traffic. And so
Right.
cars aren't stopping. I hit one of the cars, and then thankfully Fred, the EMT, who is an angel. We stay in contact, but thankfully he wasn't hit and he was able to continue to work on me. But where it happened, this is also what's crazy, was at the exit 400 feet west of Herbert Avenue. It was what was written on the police report. That's the exit for the best trauma ER center in Los Angeles County.
Wow.
So it's like, what the heck? So I don't, the what if game, you know, you get frustrated some days, as I'm sure other brain injury survivors do, where maybe you're like, why did I go in the backyard? Like, I could have just, you know, why did that bee have to fly by? But it could always be worse, is what I think. Obviously, living with a brain injury is horrific, but given the conditions that we live with on a daily basis, it's truly suffering. I mean, we have overlapping, it's every day I suffer, as I'm sure you do too. The pain is horrible, but in terms of perspective, it could always be worse.
Oh yeah.
I've been to 19 different rehabs, and I've seen firsthand how bad it could have been. It is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just it's always about optics.
It is. My friends always say, I don't know how you do it. You know, they'll get a headache and like, how do you live with this around the clock? If I cut my legs off, I'd have to adjust to that, wouldn't I? You know, you sink or swim.
Yeah,
And I always
that's
say the
so
same
true.
thing, just like kind of like, you know, tailoring off of what you just said. I always say the same thing, you know, I'm alive. And there are so many people that are suffering much worse than I am. So who am I to complain?
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, I get the same responses from friends too. What?
Yeah.
I'll get a text randomly. Oh, I just had a migraine. I don't know how you do this. It's like,
Yeah.
literally, we have no choice. And the best way I could explain it to somebody that asks, it's like having the radio on in the background all day long, right? We just,
wow.
maybe, I mean, I have, and I'm sure maybe you have, you grow accustomed to it, right? You're like,
You
okay,
do.
this is baseline. Like, this is, every day I'm at this level. What am I going to do to increase this level? Because it's not going to decrease. But yeah, it's brutal. Do you use ice packs, or what do you use to help?
I do. I have two different types of ice packs. The one I just got, it looks like a night mask, and it's been a godsend. And
Yeah?
then another one I got at a fair of all places. It's like a gel pack, and you can use it as a heating pad if you press this thing. I don't know how many times you can use it as a heating pad, but you press this button, and it releases a chemical, and in 2 seconds you have a heating pad.
So I live with my brother and his wife, and my girlfriend, and they're caregivers for me since all this unfolded, which is like extremely frustrating but beautiful at the same time.
Yeah.
When the accident happened, I was 26. Now I'm 32, about to be 33, and I was living alone in LA. You know, I was engaged, about to be married. She stuck around for a year, then called off the engagement because somebody with a brain injury was too much for her, which, I mean, to each their own, that's fine. And I always say, like, well, heck, if I could leave this life, I would too. You know, like, I didn't choose this, but you think when...
True.
Yeah, and but that's what I'm trying to say is, you know, I was completely independent, and now I rely on other people. And the reason I brought that up, you were bringing up grocery lists, is I can't grocery shop anymore. It is so, the critical thinking for it, the overstimulating environment, and the navigating the aisles and the road. It's I would say baseline every day I'm a 6 out of 10 head pain scale. It sucks. But going to the grocery store, 10 out of 10. I have to take my emergency medication every time.
Yep. We have to go early before the crowds get out there, because
Smart.
if you get out there when the middle of the day when everyone's grocery shopping, I'll lose it. I can't do it.
Chaos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah, well, it's nice to know somebody that suffers through the same stuff, even though I hate to see you suffer. But it's nice to know we're in the same boat.
I want to talk about Toro and Tides. Was that something that was already in the progress of becoming your first venture
Nothing.
as an
No.
entrepreneur, or how did that come
No,
about?
not at all. You know what it was? It was when the accident happened, I obviously everything changed significantly, very quickly. And through the course of the recovery, through the 19 different rehabs that I've been to, I came across so many people who were getting discharged early, or their insurance said, hey, we're done covering, you passed this test. And that was so frustrating for me to see, because a lot of them still needed it desperately. And I started thinking, seeing that come to play, doing inpatient rehab, I was, learning to love this community of brain injury survivors. So I need a purpose, and I can't work anymore, and it sucks. Like, I can't work the 9 to 5. And I thought, well, what else can I do? And co-founding this business with my sister-in-law, Katie, shout out to her. She's an amazing woman, caregiver as well. I said, I want to create a brand that fosters a community, raises awareness, right? And where we can, you and I met because of a contact that I made through this company with the Brain Injury Association of America. So I wanted a company that could make an invisible injury visible. And that's how Toro and Tides came to be. And what's cool, getting back to those people that got discharged early, 10% of all profits go to support somebody with a brain injury, which I'm so proud to say. So it works twofold, right? It's educating people on brain injuries. It's building awareness and this community. I'd like to call you a friend now. And
absolutely, yes.
And the donations too. We sell T-shirts, we sell hoodies, hats. We're like today we just launched a new line as well. Rob, we're in collaboration too. You've designed a beautiful shirt that's up on the website. And for the month of March, Rob, since it's your piece, you've decided that 100% of all profits, well, we came to agree on this together, will be going to the Brain Injury Association of America. I mean, how cool is that? Like, yeah. It's amazing. I would have never thought life would have gone this way, where I'm a business owner now, and but it's impacting lives. And it's, we have a podcast. I have a podcast through the company as well, and we're doing same thing, sharing stories. And it's people are hearing these stories, and they're learning. And I think that's the most beautiful thing that you can do, that I can do, that anybody can do with a brain injury if they want to share it. They should. So I encourage anybody to come on your show.
Yeah, and thank you so much again for the beautiful collaboration. That was a great thing. So
you made it easy. Are you kidding me? Anybody would love to do a collab with you. It was really cool, and that was like a day, right? You threw the design, we were able to pump it up, and you gave us a headshot, and then we AI generated a picture. That was cool. AI is scary, but they need to go check it out. Your listeners, your followers, go find Rob's shirt. Don't do it for Toro and Tides. Do it for Rob, and do it for the brain injury community. This is about raising awareness, and your money that you spend will directly impact the brain injury community, which is beautiful. Of course, we were happy to do it. And if you want to know Toro and Tides, the meaning behind the so Toro is Spanish for bull, right? And when I was coming up with the concept for our logo, I wanted to be emblematic of something that was strong. Bulls, you think of something very muscular, very sturdy, and like standing their ground. And oftentimes people think of a bull as charging, moving forward. Well, that's every brain injury survivor is strong, right? To wake up every day. Every day you're moving forward in some capacity. And that could be just getting out of bed. So I thought the bull symbolized us as brain injury community members very well. And then you have Tides, the other side of it. It's oh geez, here comes my word finding. It plays off of the highs and lows in life. We have high tide, we have low tide on the beach, in the ocean. Well, we're gonna have highs in our life, and we're gonna have lows in our life. But it's surrendering. It's not quitting, but it's surrendering to that tide and knowing, okay, I'm in low tide right now. It's gonna rise again at some point. So I thought it was a cool symbol, a cool message of you know what? You have to be strong to ride the tide. Whether you're in a high point or a low point, it takes a fierce person to live with a brain injury, and I'm so darn proud of everybody that has one, that's waking up every day to do the best they can.
This is me, my life rewired.